Hello and welcome to TVP World News. It's 12 p.m. local time in Warsaw. I'm Diana Skaya. In breaking news, Serbian Prime Minister Miloš Vučević has resigned from his post following mass protests in Belgrade. Now, the demonstrations saw thousands of Serbians take part in a 24-hour blockade of one of the main highway intersections in the country's capital. Now, prior to becoming the prime minister, Vučević was the mayor of Novi Sad, where a deadly roof collapse at a railway station killed 15 people in November last year. Now, this event sparked daily protests initiated mostly by students who are accusing the Serbian government of corruption, which contributes to the country's dysfunction. Now, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić eventually admitted that the protesters' demands will be met, and Vučević's resignation is seen as another move to satisfy the demonstrators. Also, a major government reshuffle, which might result in the replacement of half of the minister roster, is expected. A debate on confidence in the current government, which was requested by the opposition, will be held at the Wednesday session of the Serbian parliament. And joining me now to discuss this live is Nikola Ćurćin, the Vice President of the Independent Teachers Union of Serbia. Hello, Nikola. So, firstly, what do you think was this key turning point that led the Prime Minister Vučević's resignation? I mean, was it the protests? Was it the roof collapse? Everything all together? What can you tell us about that?
I can tell you that we expected this resignation last night, but it didn't happen. So the government ignored the biggest protest yet that lasted for 24 hours. But something else happened in Novi Sad last night during the night. Members of the ruling party have attacked faculty students from Novi Sad with baseball bats, giving them severe injuries. And the big protest is scheduled today in Novi Sad at 6 p.m. So I think this is a way to try to stop this outrage that will come, because it's unprecedented violence by the party members of the ruling party has commenced last night during the night.
And Nikola, and linking to exactly what you just said, I mean, President Vučić said that the protesters' demands are going to be met. But now with Vučević's resignation, do you think that it's enough to satisfy the public? I mean, the students, do you think that further political reforms are going to be necessary?
The main, what students, teachers, farmers, general public in Serbia want is stop of corruption and forcing rule of law. So this is not enough. This is just a political responsibility wrapped up in a government repacking. What we really want is for the prosecutors and judiciary to prosecute those responsible. So these protests will not stop until we see responsibility in court, to see who is responsible for violence and who is responsible mainly for the catastrophe where 15 people died. The cause of it is definitely corruption, and I think this will not cease until we have prosecutors prosecuting those responsible, whoever they are within the government.
Nikola, now there's talk of a government reshuffle, also of a potential vote of no confidence in the parliament. Do you think that a reshuffle is going to be enough, or do you think that there should be a transition government? Is there any way that we can expect that from Serbia in the coming days, weeks?
I can only tell you that the main request of the Serbian public is for the judiciary to do their job. So this is the main thing that will happen. What will happen politically will probably come out of these judiciary and prosecuting criminals, those who are responsible. So we cannot have a transitional or a shuffle government if we do not know who from the previous government was responsible. So this will be the main thing, I think. Of course, there are different political ways to do it, but this is not the request of students. This is not the main request So it's not they're not running for office, these students. There are no elections. So what we want is justice and rule of law. This is the main thing. And after that, we can think about and work out a political solution, how our country will transit to a country with controlled corruption, where corruption will not be at such vast levels and connected to the government. And violence, of course, is a huge issue because there has been lots of violence over the students. And this needs to be prosecuted as well. And those that inspired this violence, because some, let's say, high-level officials of the ruling party have incited violence. So this is also the responsibility must be taken for this.
Let me ask you this: what about your president Vučić? Should he resign too? What's your take on that?
I really, what is also the main, I don't think this is the main issue, although he is the most powerful political figure in Serbia. But the students have said many times, by constitution, his function is not the main function in Serbia. The main function is this president of the government, the prime minister and the government, that we had a resignation. So I don't know what he will politically do. This is for him. I think many of these things came because he did not allow that his high party members be prosecuted in this, and this was a mistake. So will he have political responsibility? I think we will see. It's not clear at this moment.
Now, okay, so following Prime Minister Miloš Vučević's resignation, what's your perspective on the timeline for new elections for Serbia?
I think it would be a very, very bad thing if the elections will come soon. We have to clear out many things before that. So when you said a transitional government, we need a government that people will trust, that the new elections will be fair, because we had a lot of unfair elections in past 10 years. So this is also an issue. You cannot have an election if there are suspicions of election fraud by the ruling party. So yes, there is a lot of political issues to cover, but what I feel the people of Serbia want right now is justice. This is the main thing. First justice, then political transition.
Thank you so much, Nikola Churchin, the Vice President of Independent Teachers Associations of Serbia. This is a developing story. Thanks for being with us here on TVP World.
For having me.
Moving on now, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau are meeting in Warsaw for bilateral talks with nuclear energy on top of the agenda. Now, the two leaders are to sign an agreement on nuclear cooperation as Poland is looking to launch its nuclear power programs. Our reporter Kazimierz Wyszak is on the grounds there at the office of the Prime Minister. Hello, Kazimierz. So what's this agreement about?
Good afternoon, Diana. Well, we don't know the details of this agreement just yet. Perhaps we will know later when the press conference of the two prime ministers will take place here at the Chancellery of the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk in Warsaw. We can assume some things because Canada is one of the leading countries when it comes to small modular reactors, these small nuclear reactors which are quite gaining popularity across the world given their efficiency and low cost of production. Now, Poland is looking to tap into the nuclear energy market. There are plans to start the nuclear energy power plant, first one in Poland, by the next, in the next 10 years, so about 2036. That's when Poland plans to launch its first nuclear power plant, and Canada could help with that. While that nuclear power plant, the first one in Poland, would be American-made, there are talks that Canada could also invest in this nuclear power plant. Now, this visit by Prime Minister Trudeau is going to be one of his last foreign visits as Prime Minister, as he resigned earlier this year. And we are expecting a new Prime Minister around March, and there will be parliamentary elections in Canada by the end of the year, near October. So the Canadian Prime Minister came here for the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp and moved here today for the meetings with the Polish Prime Minister. So like I said, there will be a lot of talks about nuclear energy here. An agreement will be signed, but the details we will probably know very soon.
That's right, Kazimierz, and definitely Canada and Poland have very strong bilateral ties. Thank you so much, Kazimierz Vučić, from the Polish Prime Minister's office. We will be coming back to you throughout the day. And that's all for this edition of TVP World News. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on TVP World for more news and features from the region and beyond.